Welcome to our template creation system. It allows you to rapidly create a large number of designs from a single template and add them to products on multiple platforms. You can do this for any word lists like all 50 states of America, job titles, dog breeds, nationalities, languages, sports, interests, anything you can create a list of you can use for templated designs. So we're going to start by adding a design template that has the design that you want, but without the variable words in it. So I'm going to grab this one here, Finest Job Title. And you'll see it appear on the right here. I'm going to select either an existing collection. I'm going to be using Job Titles Lite, or you could add a new collection here and click Add. And also selecting a product group. We've set this up so that we have specific product groups set up for templates. So you'll see we have Template Default Light and Template Default Dark. And you can adjust what products are being added to each platform for them. Because the system is able to generate such a large number of products very quickly, you may want to restrict what product types it's going on to, because you can very quickly utilize all your allocation for Amazon ASINs, or very quickly build up a lot of charges within Etsy. So what we've done is used a cut down version of the number of products typically, and you can adjust that further before they actually go onto those platforms. So what we're going to use here is Template Default Light. And you'll see here we've got default collection keywords that come with Job Titles Lite, and we've got what we call CSV here, and I'll explain what that is shortly. But essentially it's going to be the variable job title that we're adding within the template. And then we've got job, finest, and then we're using keyword placeholders again. So KW1 and KW2. We can have up to 10 keywords available there. Now I'm just going to quickly show you how we position the keywords. So you'll see I've grabbed a little box here. I hope you can see that okay on screen. And then I can just drag it out so that it fits in the right place. And you can drag it down as well to get that box looking like the right area that you want that variable word to go into. Now I'm just going to quickly show you how we create the word list that we're going to use for this, and how we do the keywords for it. So for this we're going to create a CSV file. So let's say for job titles we have maybe nanny, we might have engineer, and then we could have I don't know, psychologist. So we could do as many as we want down here. You might have 100 different job titles. And then for being able to create things very quickly each time you want to use the same CSV file, we want to have keywords that are associated with each of these list words. So for nanny it might be babysitter, it could be au pair. Now because they're 2 words each, you may also want to do those individually, so it could be baby sitter if you wanted to here. So this would be CSV, so that's the first placeholder. In column B we have KW1, keyword 1, KW2, KW3, KW4, and then we're going right out here to KW10. I think it'll be the K column. So you can use as many of those as you want to. Engineer, you might have chemical, electrical, whatever else would fit in there. And then you'd have similar ones for psychologist as well. When you go to save it, we're going to save it as a CSV file. So file, and then we're going to save as. And then we're going to call this job titles and you'll see I've already got job title CSV. In here we're going to select CSV, delimited as the file type, and then we'd click save. So I've already saved job title, so I'm not going to save it again, but it's a very simple, fast process. All you need to do is work out what your keywords are going to be. You want them to be in a similar format so that it's going to make sense when we create bullet points and when we create the actual keywords for this, and some of the titles as well. So we'll show you through that shortly, how we make sure they're going to be constructed in the right manner. But it should be a relatively fast process to build this out. If you look online for things like job title lists, you can find a whole lot of them that you can just list down here, and then just create the common words that are going to become your keywords around those at the same time. So a very simple process there. Then you'll see we have default collection description 1. This is going to become bullet point 1 on Amazon, so both on Merch and Amazon Seller Central. So it could be something like, are you the finest, keyword 1, keyword 2, CSV. So that would be, let's say for nanny, it could be babysitter, au pair, nanny. And the word that would appear here is CSV, so that's going to be nanny. And then under description 2, great products. This is going to be mug, t-shirt, hoodie, whatever the product type is, for babysitter, au pair, nanny. And so they're going to fill in there. Now remember this product here can only be used in description 2. It can't be used in description 1, and that's because of where those placeholders are going into. We're only using the description 2 on those platforms where we're actually creating the products and the product images for it, and on those that we don't have control over that and we're just adding the design and then converting that into products, description 1 is the only one being used. So we manage all that for you. So we're going to put this on a range of platforms. Cafe Press is still to launch, but it's coming. You can add Etsy, Amazon, and Teelance for Amazon Merch. You could choose either dark. You'll see that gives you a white background for your template preview. So you could put a dark set of text over it if you wanted to. And we're going to use light, so it's going to give you this black background, which is easy to work with for a light design. We can set a background color for any sublimated products. So if we wanted to, let's say some form of blue, that will appear for when it's being uploaded into certain platforms. You'll note there are some missing platforms here. So Redbubble and Spreadshirt have told us that they do not want to have templated designs added to their platform. So we are respecting that and making sure that it's keeping your account safe, and that you're not going to get banned for adding content that they've decided they don't want added to their platform. The other ones have all indicated that it's fine to do this, so there's no issues with that. So you can utilize the template generator for any of these platforms. This design is for job titles, so it's probably going to be adults only rather than adults and kids. I guess potentially you could sell the odd kids shirt, but typically it's going to be adults that are going to be purchasing this. At the end, we're going to save collection, and if you want to, we can save as collection default as well, so that's going to be saved for the future. And all those details are now going to appear down below in our template settings. We have a template title. Now the key thing to remember here is you need to have CSV within that template title. So that's going to place nanny in the job in that template title, and then you probably want some keywords as well. So we could have KW1, KW2, so that's going to put au pair and babysitter in there as well, and that'll help your design to be found for those looking for some of those other ones. And then you can do the same here as well, So we definitely want CSV in there, so it's going to add that. Make sure we get the spacing right. And because we're not over length, we'll probably just use the same for both. So you'll see it's copied down the descriptions and the template-based keywords. It's now going to add in those keywords that are specific to that one design. We have the option of using either no change to the font here. So you'll see for nanny, I've got just a capital N, same for engineer, same for psychologist. That's how I'd recommend you generally set up your CSV files, is with a capital letter at the start. It gives you that flexibility to either use that format, or you can go with all capitals or all lowercase. So they're all options for you. So let's say we're going to go with, let's go with no change for now. It's going to be simple. There are two formats that we're able to utilize this box area in. So the first one is CSV longest word. What that will do is take the longest word on our list, which in this case is going to be psychologist, and it's going to fit it exactly to this box size, and then it's going to take that same font size and it's going to apply that same font to nanny, which is a much shorter word, and the same to engineer. If we choose default, it's going to take that box size and it's going to fit each of those words to that box size, regardless of how long it is. So a word like nanny will end up being quite large, and a word like psychologist will have a smaller font. So you've got those two different options that you're able to utilize. So you can choose what kind of fonts you want to use here. This will take you a little bit of time to populate, especially the first time you use it. You'll end up being able to see a range of different fonts here. What you're able to do is, where you have the rights to utilize a font commercially, you are able to add your own fonts. So you can just click add here and then select a TTF file. So it's really important to note that it has to be a TTF. If it's in another font file format like OTF or something similar, then you'll need to adjust that. There's a number of file conversion platforms out there that just type in convert whatever the font file type is that you have to TTF, and there's multiple free ways that you can do that. So it's a pretty simple one to be able to convert that. Just make sure you have the right to use it commercially, or our review team, Diana, will be checking to make sure that appropriate ones are being used and that they are available for use. You'll be surprised at how often people that have created fonts do actually check on sites like Amazon, and you can end up with black marks against your account if you're using fonts that you don't have the rights to. Other ones that you've got to really watch out for, things like Star Wars fonts or Disney fonts. Just assume you can't use them unless you've specifically been given the right to use them. But as a general rule, something commercially valuable like that, you're not going to have the rights for, so don't try and use it. Now we can select any color that we want here. Probably go with some sort of yellow, maybe a little brighter. So just choose that. Now CSV, you'll see I've already saved job titles here. Now you can add your own CSV files, obviously. Any of the fonts that you add are only going to be added to your account. Same for the CSV files, they're just being added to your account. So you don't need to worry about them appearing for everyone else. So you'll see psychologist, it's got a capital P, and then the rest are all lowercase. If we go all capital, and that'll change when we press refresh preview, and the same for lowercase. So I'm just going to change that back to no change and refresh. So you can see exactly what you're creating. This is how it will appear when you are using this. So you'll see Psychologist is that size. If we go to Nanny, you'll see the font size will change a bit. So it's slightly larger font. It's probably more pronounced if we make this a little deeper. So it's quite large there, and when we go for Psychologist, because we haven't changed the, let's refresh there. Because we haven't changed that width, we've only changed the height, a word like Psychologist is going to have much smaller font size. Now you won't see those changes when you're using CSV longest word. You can't actually select here at the moment. I'll see if I can get the guys to fix that. But just assume it's going to be the same size as what you're seeing. I'm just going to adjust that slightly. Just make it a bit easier to show by example what we're doing here. So then we can set the horizontal alignment to being centered or left or right. And we can align vertically as well. So if we have a word, let's go Psychologist. I'm just going to refresh again. So we can either have it in the middle, or at the top, or at the bottom. So they're all options for us. And then once we're happy with where it's positioned, we can click Submit, and it'll take that design, it'll convert it into all the different product types that we want, and it will put it on all the platforms that we've selected. It'll still go through a review process if you're putting it onto either Amazon or Etsy that we're printing for. But yeah, otherwise it's very fast and simple to get lots and lots of products up really quickly across all these different platforms. You'll note that you've got a quite high limit of the number of templated designs that you're able to get uploaded, and that's because it's going to be really fast and really simple for you to get lots up. So I think on the basic plan you can do 800 of these a month, and then up to some of the higher level plans like a gold plan you could do 4,000 of these a month. Now the way those limits are calculated is each individual design, so Finest Psychologist would be one design, Finest Nanny would be one design, Finest Engineer would be one design. You would get, let's say on a gold plan, 4,000 of those kinds of designs, regardless of how many platforms it's going onto and regardless of how many products it's going onto. So yeah, you get pretty high limits and you can create a huge number of products on lots of platforms using this tool. Have a play with it, let us know how you go. If you have any issues or anything, feel free to raise any questions that you have. But look forward to seeing some of your designs going through the system.